So let's start with this red rock, which obviously is not bright red. So it's slightly more towards orange. So I shall just add a bit of yellow. But colour's not hugely important. I don't think the tonal value as ever is important. So, you know, this is quite a lot in the scene and quite nice to get quite far with it. So I'm not going to worry too much about colour. So let's just make interesting brush marks. So rather than like this, you know, we could almost describe the shape of that rock by curving around and then maybe even go over the top of the rock, you know, and just leave marks like that. And then it goes slightly darker, so just by adding a bit of blue we'll make it darker, and cobalt blue I use there, could be either. And then on the top slightly darker there, and we've got the highlight there, which I'll just leave white of the canvas for now. And then the side that's turned away from the light is much darker again, so just more blue. And that's going to be about there. And I'll have another brush. I shall just bring that down. So that's the first rock done. And I don't know whether the rock is correct or not at the moment, because until we get the rest of the painting done, I don't know. And it probably will look absolutely fine as it is there when the rest of the painting is done. So that's our anchor point there, that we can, you know, look when we get lost on here, we can look to see, okay, well, where is this shape? Okay, in comparison to there, it's there, and so on. So more rocks. So again, we've got a red rock there. And with a scene like this, unlike portraiture, you know, the rocks, if we get them slightly wrong, not a problem. And if we put the curve of a rock in the wrong place, you know, it's not going to make the viewer not be able to read the painting. If we get the tonal values wrong, that will be a problem. And then I'll take another brush, and we've got some blue. Obviously, it's not blue straight from the tube, it's desaturated. And I made a watercolor video about creating greys with your mixes to make things look a bit more natural, that colour straight from the tube, you know, a bit bright and unnatural looking. So if you want your paintings to look more realistic, we need to look at having a good variety of edges, i.e. sort of soft edges and hard edges in the right place, and also more sort of natural looking colours. So there's a weird shape on the side of that rock here, which I shall just ignore that. And then I shall keep another brush for just the dark, because otherwise there's a lot going on here. We're going to end up with lots of brushes with varying mixes on. So that's purple. No, it doesn't matter. It's just a dark. Because I know I probably will end up needing to make that darker at some point. And we can paint the darks next to it as well while we've got there, because by painting this rock we know that the dark next to it is where it goes. Also, I've got my drawing as well. I'm using horizontal marks here, which might also help to give that illusion of it being water. And that's not exactly what's there, but it's close enough. No, it doesn't have to be exactly what's there. So we've got some, on top of this shape, there's just a dark shape that again I would describe as a very dark bluey purple. As I say, the important thing is not to throw a load of paint on here, just almost sort of scumble it onto the surface. It then goes more towards blue. So as ever, please hit the like and subscribe, and check out the link in the description and have a look at my website. This is a 2025 archives with his, I think, just over 100 full tutorials with reference images, and covering all sorts of subjects. And this year we're already off to a flying start with lots of new demos in January already. again covering a wide range of subjects. And if you want to join me on a live stream, become a member of the website, and it'd be great to meet you in person. I've just uploaded a new art exhibition, something I knew I started a few months ago. So in the link in the description, there's a link to that as well, where I do a little bit of a talk about some paintings I've done in the past and present. Watercolors and oils. Again, I cover a wide range of subjects, so hopefully there's something of interest for everyone. And don't worry, you don't have to buy one, just watch the video. And last but not least, we've got our members forum, where I share the images of the paintings I do, a little bit of information about them, etc. And again, we talk about watercolors and oils on this forum, and it's members only. So check out the links. Let's get on with the video. And I think this is the sort of scene where it won't look like anything until you've got the canvas covered, you put those final little marks on, and all of a sudden it just becomes the scene. That's what we hope. More towards blue there. And again, just soft edge into there. And the reason why I'm not going too thick with the paint here is because we've got to paint some water, the white over it. So if I had the paint too thick, that's going to make that tricky. So slightly more towards purple. Again, just keep checking your tonal values. It's tempting just to put it everywhere, but and then we've got this blue shape here. So I'll switch to another brush. Again, when there's lots of little bits of blue, it can be tricky to match the color, but just look for an area that's larger, like here, and then I can match that color there. So I know that's way too blue. So if I just mix it into this pile of paint, it's going to gray it off and see which direction it goes. So it's too cold, it needs to be warmer. So I've got a couple of options. I could use some Zion Crimson, or maybe switch to the ultramarine blue that is warmer than the cobalt, but maybe a bit of both. I think we're okay there. It's quite useful having these mixes on here, because you can use them to tone the colours. And but we've got a light blue there. So let's take white and blue, slightly more warmer. And that goes underneath that little triangle I painted there with that orange. So while I've got this blue, let's put another little blue shape there. A couple of underneath that rock there, a couple of shapes. And back to the darker brush. So where are we? Let's go back to here. So on the side of that rock, so we've got, I'll say it's easy to get lost, but all you've got to do is, we've got this rock as an anchor point. We know the corner of that rock, what's on the corner of that rock. Ignore the white. So I see a light grey with the dark blue triangle next to it. So that light grey goes across there. And then there's a dark blue triangle next to it. Down to that water's edge. And then we've got, again, light grey, which we'll be putting a lot of white paint over that at some point, so keep it thin. And then a dark purpley colour. And it's these lights and darks which are going to make this look like a waterfall. And then, so we're there, and then we'll have white paint. We've then got some dark, so primary colours mixed together. Maybe add a bit of sap green into the mix, a bit of yellow. I can look at what's above to use as a reference. We've got that dark there, That comes down. You can almost connect it to that dark. Bring that down. And then that goes underneath there. Under that rock there's a dark, which comes down here. And it's slightly more towards red here. A bit more orange. So this is giving that illusion of those rocks under the water. And then over here, it's more towards blue. But again, not blue straight from the tube, it's more of a purpley blue. And I say it's so easy to get lost here because there's just too much going on. So it's pointless trying to replicate it mark for mark. So just take inspiration from it and don't overdo it. So let's have a go with the water in here. So the mistake would be to get your white paint and just fill that with white. You know, it's tempting to do, but no, there might be some white paint here. But all we've got to do is just check the tonal value for the colours here. And we'll just paint this shape, and then we'll add the little flicks of colour and so on there. So it steers more towards a cool blue. So the cobalt blue will be probably the mix. I'm going to make a bit of room. So just start somewhere. The leftover paint on that brush and the blue. So it's too blue, needs to be more of a greeny blue. So if I add some yellow ochre to that, that's now too green. So pull it back towards blue. And still too greeny blue, so more blue, even just perhaps add a bit of ultramarine blue. So possibly a bit of brown in there just to desaturate it, but not steer it towards green too much. So that's closer, it's too dark, so a little bit of white. So I think it's quite a good idea to try and get this fairly accurately, the colour. So it's difficult because it's just little bits, but I think that's close enough. A little bit lighter. So what do I see? I just see a shape here that's this sort of tonal value. So I'll just paint that in, keep it fairly, again, thin, not too thick with the paint. And then the shape above it is slightly more blue. So just add some more blue into that. There are rocks and things off in the distance there, so we can just put in a few darks. It could be the rocks that say we can certainly leave a little bit to the imagination off in the distance here. Maybe a cleverly placed dark on that rock, make that rock stand out a bit more. We've got some orange colours there, so yellow and the red. We can't really see what is off in the distance here, but it's certainly darker towards the bank here. So this is where we want to create that sort of softness, and maybe we'll just put a few twigs in afterwards. Gets certainly lighter in value as it disappears further away. And we could even just take a clean brush, which is fairly soft, and just lose. Certainly there. Don't need a lot of detail. Maybe slightly more defined this side. And then it may be a case of putting in one or two sort of twigs. Just test the idea with just scratching it out, maybe. Not too many, but you know, there might be a few things that just don't look right. It's a case of step back from it, look what's different. I don't think I've got this dark enough. So I'll just go a little bit darker in this foreground here. So I've started to do that on a lot of the live stream and the demos, is get an hour or so into the demo, almost get it finished, but perhaps finish it in the morning with fresh eyes, and I think I end up with a better painting, so I'm sure you will as well. So I think that works quite well, and certainly on this occasion, this scene was quite involved, but I was quite keen to paint something like this to sort of to show a lot of you who perhaps, like myself, years ago didn't feel confident to paint something like this because it's just too complicated. When you've just seen it painted from start to finish, if you've watched the whole video or even painted it yourself, and you can see it's completely possible. And I think that was quite a good learning experience for me in the early days when I bought some videos, that was a long time ago, and actually see paintings being done, that it showed me that it's actually possible for these things. Because when you just see the painting on the wall, it can just be overwhelming, and you can't even fathom how that could have been done by a human being. And we don't actually feel like that now because we've done a lot of it ourselves, but when you're new to painting, that's kind of how you feel. And it's how I feel about music and things like that, because I can't do it. So but it's just a skill that can be learned, and I think that's what I think this demo was about, really, to sort of show you something that looks almost impossible to paint, we can do. And as proved, a lot of you who painted along, which is not easy to do because I know I paint quite quickly, did achieve a very good painting. And I'm sure a lot of you who do the demonstration afterwards will also do a good painting. And all you've got to do is make sure you've got a good skeleton, which is your drawing, and check your colours, your tonal values. So not necessarily in this order of importance, but colours, tonal values, shapes, and put the paint down in a confident manner that adds a little bit of flair to the painting. And if we look at the that's the reference image there, so it's quite smooth, more photographic, but we all end up with a very different painting, even though we're using the same reference. That's my brushwork, that's my signature. Yours will be different, it should be different. We don't all want to end up with the same painting. So I wanted it to be more painterly, less sort of photographic. My colours have steered more towards purples and warm colours, which I quite like. And I certainly put a lot less detail in, particularly in that background. So pleased with how the painting came out, and I think hopefully it'll give you confidence to try certain subjects that you may not have done in the past. And good luck if you decide to give this one a go. There you go. Good luck with your painting. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, you'll love this one.